Hi, I'm Catherine Brunch of Canine Support, and thank you for joining me today to celebrate 50 years of Tellington TTouch. In today's video, we are going to look at possibly my favourite TTouch, which are the ear slides in particular, although we can do some of the circular touches with the ears, but for today, I'm going to start out with ear slides because it's something that a lot of us instinctively already do with our dogs. Perhaps we just don't realise how beneficial ear slides are for our dogs. And I've got some helpers with me today to demonstrate, and then I've got a couple of videos with Remy and Chloe again to show you too. So why are the ear slides so amazing? It's because there are approximately 200 acupressure points in the ears, and so by actually stimulating the ears by these gentle sliding touches, we're actually really supporting the nervous system. Ear slides are incredibly amazing for things like noise sensitivity, so calming an anxious dog if they're scared of noises, things like car travel, so if your dog suffers with car sickness or is anxious about travelling in the car, then they can also be great for that. Calming an over-aroused dog, of course. So many things. I use them a lot on at vet visits. So Chloe in particular, in the beginning days with her, very anxious at the vets, very shaky, panty, shedding hair, all that kind of stuff, and so I would do ear slides with her to help calm her down. So many different uses for ear slides, and they can also be pretty much life-saving, and I think that's why they are my favourite TTouch, because a couple of years ago Remy started having what the vet has called episodic fits. So she would get herself really worked up and then go into this kind of like fuzziness, I'm gonna faint, and on occasions she has actually collapsed and had a full-on fit. So in those scenarios, I'm always doing ear slides because they are amazing for shock. And whatever the reason is behind her fits, we haven't figured that out completely, but it's going to be a shock to her system anyway, that she's about to have this fit, that she's feeling faint, whatever it is that's going on. And even on occasions where I thought she was about to collapse, I've done ear slides with her and she has been able to kind of stay upright. And on one occasion I was actually able to walk her out of the garden, get her in the car and take her off to the vet. So when she got to the vet, she was perfectly fine and they don't know what was wrong with her. So, it was one of those things. But when she's almost 40 kilograms, it's not the kind of dog I can pick up and put in the car. So I needed her to kind of stay awake with me so that I could get her into the car and off to the vets. So I think that's why they are my favourite TTouch. We've got different ways of doing the ear slides depending on your dog's ears, basically. So we've got floppy ears, or we've got the sticky up pointy ears, and I'll show you both. But with the floppy ears, we need to support the ear underneath of the ear even with our fingers, and we are just sliding over the top with our thumb. And when we get to the end, rather than just dropping the ear, letting go and it flops back down, we actually want to support it back to where it sits naturally, because that's a much more pleasant experience for your dog. As we're sliding, we are imagining that we are running something like a rose petal or a leaf between finger and thumb, because they're really sensitive, these ears, and we only need this very light pressure to slide over them. And if we are relaxing on the sofa, I've got a great video of Remy on the sofa with me, we can do these touches quite slowly and quite quietly because it's very relaxed. If Remy is about to have some kind of fit, then I will be doing them much faster with her to really get that information into her body and help to bring her back into herself again. So again, speed varies and we match it with how kind of active our dog is. And again, with Chloe, if she's scared of noises, then I might start off doing some faster ear slides to get that information starting to pass that through the nervous system, and then gradually slow down. So it's not a kind of one speed fits all. It is looking at the dog in front of you on that particular day and in that moment in time, and then obviously matching that and adjusting accordingly. We can always, if I move it to this side slightly, we can, if you've got a sensitive dog that's not keen on their ears, we can just use that sliding llama touch, you know, just using the back of our hand, the back of our fingers over the ear, just to start dripping that information in. We can start by going sort of around the base of the ear and down the neck. And with the ear slides, depending whether your dog likes them or not and is used to their ears being touched, we might just do one ear slide and then go back to somewhere where we know that they're comfortable being touched, so like their shoulder area, something like that. We always want to drip this information in rather than specifically concentrating, all I'm going to do today is ear slides. So floppy-eared dogs, pointy-eared dogs, we can, again, if they're sensitive to touch, we can use the back of our hand and stroke up in the direction of their ears, that their ears are going. Again, we can perhaps go round the base of the ear just to get them used to contact near that area, building trust, and using the back of our hand. They are the touches that build trust with our dogs. So we can just start to feed that information in, come back, maybe another little one in the ear, and come back again. So we've got sliding up the ear. The ear itself, when we do the slides, this time we might have the fingers on the front of the ear, so it's supporting the front part of the ear. And if I turn around, then my thumb will be sliding up the back of the ear, so ever so gently. And if we can, we might pause at this tip area because there are specific acupressure points here that really help with calming and shock. So we just pause at that point. So sliding in the same direction as the ear goes. We could get really quite specific with our ear slides, and we can go up the front of the ear, maybe up the middle of the ear, and then sliding up the edge of the ear as well. So we can really start to work those ears and really support them. And another reason why ear touches are so important is because how much emotion our dogs hold in their ears. So, you know, they go back if they're frightened, they come up and happy. You know, there's so much communication that they're giving us with their ears all the time. And this is another reason why they are really, really cool for TTouches. If you have a dog, let me grab this one, with what I call funky ears, and Chloe and Remy have both got funky ears, where this kind of beginning part of the ear is quite kind of folded, and so it's not completely flat like the floppy ears. So if you think of like a basset hound, it's like really flat floppy ears, isn't it? But you can get them where they're kind of curved, maybe like the staffies, those sorts of dogs as well. And we just want to kind of cup that area because we don't want to flatten it out with our hands. We're just going to cup our hand around that area. And then when we get to a flatter point of the ear, then we can use finger and thumb to slide across that part. So cupping and then sliding. So very good dog. So that's a little bit about the ear slide TTouches, and now I'm going to show you a couple of videos of me doing ear slides with my own dogs. So as I said, depending on the type of ears that your dog has got, we can go downwards with the floppy ears, supporting the ear, not letting it kind of just drop. And then for pointed ears, we go in the same direction that their ears are sitting. So this is little Chloe, and an example of, I'm just going to slide over her ear first, a little bit of a stroke on the head to begin with, just to introduce myself. She's a little bit wary of being filmed. She's not quite the diva that Remy is, but nice and slow, pausing at that tip. And just sliding, because she's got funky ears, so I just normally slide kind of on the front of the ear if I'm cupping the back with my hand, and just stroking over them, stroking them next to her body as well can be really soothing. And then it normally has this effect if she likes to go to sleep. So just nice and quietly, and just being in the moment with her as well. And just dripping in, actually doing some slides on her body in between the touches as well. And then she's like, oh, why did it stop? So I can do a few more with her. And she gets very sleepy eyes with ear slides. And then with Remy, again, she's got those funky ears. So we're just chilling in the garden. Do you know you can do these ear slides at any time? And the more that we practice when we're nice and relaxed, then the more effective they are, especially for Remy when she does have these fits that she has. So just kind of watching her body language a bit as well. She was always quite sensitive on her ears. She had quite a lot of ear infections when she was a puppy. So ear slides can be difficult for her at times. But again, it's just kind of meeting them where they are, sliding on the head, down the back of the neck as well, so that it's not too intense all in one place. And of course, like I said, my favourite place to do ear slides is when we're snuggled up on the sofa. She's very tired. And here, it's actually easier for me to slide the front of her ear through between my fingers. So my fingers are curled round the front edge of the ear. And this is because it's more comfortable for my arm position. So I'm just stroking this way instead of actually cupping my fingers underneath her ear. So very lovely and relaxing for her. So I hope you enjoy the ear slides, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.